welcome back to Mathletics Adda channel. Now today in this part 1 video of similar triangles, we are going to learn about similar triangles and concepts. Actually, the similar triangles chapter is used to find out the longer distances and heights which we cannot measure directly by using the measuring tape. So as in trigonometry, how we found out the longer distances and heights the same, but the major difference is that between the trigonometry and similar triangles is in trigonometry, we used one single right angle triangle and we applied so many trigonometric ratios. But in similar triangles, we use similar triangles to find out the longer distances and heights. And we have some theorems and important topics. And this is very important chapter. If you don't understand each and every concept clearly, then you cannot get anything in this chapter. So you should compulsory focus on this each and every topic. In this part 1 video, I am covering each and every small concept clearly. So don't miss this part and you should not go to the next part before covering this topic. Okay, you should compulsory watch this part 1. Then only you can understand the part 2 and upcoming videos of this chapter. Now in this chapter, these are the basic and major important things that we have to cover in similar triangles. Without understanding these concepts, you may not get anything in this chapter. Okay, so now let us have a look at on these points. What is polygon? What is non-polygon? What is regular polygon? Similarity and congruency of figures, similarity of triangles, basic proportionality theorem, or otherwise it can be also called as Thales theorem related to similar triangles, converse of the Thales theorem, converse of this, criterions for similarity of triangles. Criterions are nothing but criterions for congruency of triangles are there, no? Similar to that only criterions for similarity of triangles. Areas of similar triangles theorem, Pythagoras theorem and Baudhayana theorems of right angle triangle, and some important definitions and note points I will definitely give whenever it is required. So don't miss this part. Please watch clearly and please watch full video. Now let us see what is a polygon. A polygon is a closed figure which is completely made up of straight line segments. Okay. So for example, if you look at this is a closed figure but it is not completely straight. So it is like curved. Okay. So this is not a polygon. Yes. And if you look at this is straight but this is not straight. So this is also, that means this is not completely straight, closed figure. So this is not a polygon. So if you look at this is a closed figure and you can see all are straight line segments. So again, this is a closed figure which is formed by only straight line segments. So this can be called as polygon. So this is also completely straight. So this is also a polygon and this is also a polygon. Okay. So closed figures can be categorized in two categories. So that is one polygons and another one is non-polygons. So polygons means the closed figures which are formed by using only straight line segments. Example, triangle, then quadrilateral and then pentagon and etc. are the examples of polygons. And coming to non-polygons, you can take a circle, semicircle, sector, segment, etc. The parts of the circle are what? Non-polygons. And if you look at here, one important note is here you should understand. A figure which crosses itself is not considered as a closed figure. It seems that it's a polygon. Why? Because it's closed and it is completely straight. But what is the condition? It should not cross itself. It should not cross itself. So here if you observe, I am trying to draw the figure like this. Okay. Starting like this. Next. Now here if you observe, at this point the figure is crossing itself. If any figure which is crossing itself is not considered as what? Closed figure. So this is not a closed figure. What is this figure? This is an open figure or open curve. So this is not a polygon. Remember this important thing. Okay. Now we have different names for the different polygons based on the number of sides that they have. So now let us look at the table. So if the number of sides are 3 in a polygon, then we call it as a triangle. If the number of sides in a polygon are 4, then we call it as a quadrilateral. If it is 5, then pentagon. 6-sided polygon is called as hexagon. 7-sided one is called as heptagon. 8, octagon. 9, nonagon, and 10 decagon, 11 hendecagon, 12 dodecagon, 13 triskaidekagon, 14 tetrachaidecagon, 15 pentachaidecagon. So now, what is my regular polygon? A regular polygon is a polygon in which all the sides are equal and all the angles are equal is called as regular polygon. Equilateral triangle is one example for the regular polygon. Why? Because in equilateral triangle all the sides are equal and all the angles are equal to 60 degrees. So all the angles are equal and all the sides are equal. So that is why equilateral triangle is a regular polygon. And one more example for that is square. We know that in square all sides are equal and all the angles are equal to 90 degrees. So all angles are equal, all sides are equal. So square is also example for regular polygons. Now let us see some more regular polygons and their names based on the number of sides in the table. We have different names for the different regular polygons based on the number of sides. Okay. So if the number of sides are 3, then it is called as equilateral triangle, and each of the equilateral triangle measures 60 degrees. So this is the formula to find out the measure of each of the angle of a regular polygon, that is n minus 2 into 180 degrees by n, where n is the number of sides of a regular polygon. So if you take the case of equilateral triangle, so n will be 3. So 3 minus 2 into 180 by 3, that is 3 minus 2 is 1. So 1 into 180, that is by 3. So if you simplify it, you will get 60 degrees. Okay. But without calculating, we already know why, because we have already dealt the square and the equilateral triangle. So we can directly write 60 degrees and 90 degrees in the case of equilateral triangle and square. So if a regular polygon is having 4 sides, then we call it as square, and each of the angle of square measures 90 degrees. And if the side is having 5, then we call it as regular pentagon, and each of the angle measures 198 degrees. Next, if it is having 6 sides, then it is called as regular hexagon, and each of the angle measures 120 degrees. 7-sided regular polygon is called as regular heptagon. 8-sided regular polygon is called as regular octagon. 9-sided regular polygon is called as regular nonagon, and 10-sided regular polygon is called as regular decagon, and so on. So here nothing is there. Up to 3 sides and 4 sides we have special names like equilateral triangle and square. But from 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and so on, we are just adding the word regular before the name of the polygon. So we already know that the polygon which is having 5 sides is called as pentagon, 6-sided polygon is called as hexagon. So we are just adding the regular word before the polygon name. Okay, so then it is called as regular polygon, and this I kept blank for you to solve by using this. Okay, I hope you can solve. If you want to note down the notes, please pause it and note down. Now let us see the congruency and similarity of geometrical figures. Congruency means the geometrical figures which have both the shape and the size same are called as congruent figures. That means if two figures are having same shape and also same size, then only we can say that the figures are congruent figures, otherwise not. So whereas in similarity, the geometrical figures which have the same shape but are not necessarily of the same size are called as similar figures. So here only shape matters, the size doesn't matter. The figures can be of same size and the figures may not be of same size, but it's okay. But they should have same shape. They need not be of same size. Okay, you should understand this. But in the case of congruency, both shape and size should be same. Okay, and the symbol for the similarity is one sleeping s, and here the symbol for the congruency is sleeping s in addition with one equal to symbol. So this is the symbol for congruency and this is the symbol for similarity. And here all similar figures may not be congruent because their sizes may differ. Two similar figures may be congruent or may not be congruent. When we can say that two similar figures are congruent? When their sizes are equal. When their sizes are different, then we cannot say that they are congruent. We can say that only similar. Okay. So, but here all congruent figures are also similar. Why? Because in the congruency condition, what is already covered? Shape and size both are covered. So, to say that figures are similar, we should concentrate only on shape, which is already covered in congruent figures. Okay, So that is why we can say that all the congruent figures are also similar figures. So let us take one example. All circles are similar. Why? Because they look same, they look round. Okay, why the shape is round? Why? Because they all have the same 360 degrees at the center. So here you should understand that angle matters more. Angle is related to the shape. When the angle changes, then automatically the shape will also change. Is that clear? I'm once again repeating this. Angle matters more in the case of similarity. Why? Because in the similarity we are focusing on shape, not on the size. Okay? If you take any circle of any size, you will find that at the center 360 degrees. So that means all the circles are having the same 360 degrees. So they all will look round in shape. So if they are of same shape, so we can call all the circles are similar. So this is the 2 centimeter radius circle, this is 1 centimeter radius circle, and this is 2.5. So each is similar to one another. Okay, so I wrote similar symbol. And here all circles which are already similar, all similar circles may not be congruent because their sizes may differ due to inequality of their radii. Okay, why? Because see here, take this example. Here these two are circles and they are similar. Why? Because they are same in shape, but their sizes are not same. They are different. Why? Because this is having 2.5 centimeter radius and this is having 1 centimeter radius. So due to the inequality of the radii of these two circles, we cannot say that these two are congruent. So that means when we can say the two circles are congruent, only when the radii are equal. But all congruent circles are also similar. Congruent means what? Their radii should be equal. So here I have taken two circles, each of 1.5 meter radius. So this is equal in size with this. So that is why these two are congruent to each other. So that is why I kept congruency symbol. So this is the difference between similarity and congruency. Let us have some more notes on this. Now let us take some observations as notes under similarity and congruency topic. Okay, the shape of all circles is same because all the circles have the same 360 degrees at their center. If you take any circle, you can see that the angle formed at the center is what? 360 degrees. If it is small or big or much big, then you can see in all the cases 360 degrees is common at the center. So they look same in shape. So they are similar. Now let us look at the second point. In circles, if the angles at the center are same, then we get similar figures, otherwise not. Okay, so here you can see in the first circle we have got 360. In the second circle, the angle formed at the center is 180, so that is half circle, that is semicircle. And if the angle formed at the center is 90 degrees, then that is called as quarter circle. So now can we say that the shape of any of these two is same? No, we cannot. These two shapes are not same, so they are not similar. These two are also not similar and these two are also not similar. So from these three, no two of the above three figures are similar because their shapes are different due to the inequality of the angles formed at their center. So here we should understand that angles are affecting the shape of the figure. Angles are affecting the shape of the figure. You should underline this in your mind. Okay, if the angles are changing at the center, then automatically the shape of the circle is also changing. Now let's see the next one. From the above 2 points, we can conclude that in circles, change in angle formed at the center leads to change in their shape. If the angle changes, then automatically the shape will also change. Now in the second point, in circles, the lengths of radii, the perimeters, the diameters will affect the size of the circle. Okay, this radii and the diameter and the perimeter are three interlinked concepts. Why? Because radius is equal to half of the diameter and perimeter is equal to pi d. So these three are interlinked one, these three are lengths only. So these three will affect the size of the circle. So that is why the two circles of equal diameters, or otherwise the two circles of equal radii, or otherwise two circles of equal perimeter are always congruent. Is that clear? So here what you can understand, the angles which are formed at the center of the circle are impacting the shape of the circle, and the length of radius or diameter or perimeter is affecting the size of the circle. Now fourth note point, all circles which are making 360 degrees at the center are similar but may not be congruent. Why? Because the sizes may differ. And all semicircles which are making 180 degrees at the center are similar but may not be congruent. Why? Because the sizes may differ. They are making equal angles at the center but they may contain different sizes, so they may not be congruent but they are similar. Similarly, all quarter circles are also making, each quarter circle will make 90 degrees at the center, so all quarter circles can be called as similar but may not be congruent. Why? Because their sizes may be different. So in the fourth point, this is very important, all sectors which are making an equal angles at the center are similar but may not be congruent. Now let us see some notes related to similarity and congruency of polygons. The main important thing is that we cannot compare two polygons similarity or congruency which are having unequal number of sides. That means we cannot compare a triangle with the quadrilateral to compare their similarity or congruency. That is main important thing. So here triangle is having 3 sides and this is having 4 sides, so we cannot compare, and this is also having 5 which is not equal to these. So we can compare the similarity or congruency of polygons having equal number of sides. That means we can verify the similarity or congruency of any two triangles or any two quadrilaterals or any two pentagons or any two hexagons or any two polygons which are having equal number of sides. So to check the shape and size, we must check the corresponding angles and we must check the corresponding sides. If the sides are not same in number and if the angles are not equal in number, then how we can compare the similarity and congruency? So that is why we cannot compare the similarity and congruency of polygons which are having unequal number of sides. We can compare the similarity and congruency of polygons if and only if they are having equal number of sides. Now let's see the similarity and congruency of polygons. The congruency of polygon states that the figures should have the same shape and same size, and the similarity of polygon states that the figures should have at least the same shape and the sizes may be of same size or may not be of same size. It's okay, but the shape should be same. So we have already completed in the previous topic that angles decide the shape and lengths of sides decide the size of the polygon. So here let us understand clearly what is similarity and what is congruency and how do we verify the similarity and congruency of polygons. Okay. Consider two rectangles ABCD and PQRS in both the cases. Yes, I have taken ABCD where length is 3 cm and breadth is 2 cm, and PQRS rectangle length is 6 cm and 4 cm. So 2 and 2 are opposite sides are equal and 3 and 3 opposite sides are equal, and here also similarly 6 and 6 equal and 4 and 4 equal. So now we know that in rectangles all the angles are equal to 90 degrees. So obviously angle A will be equal to the corresponding angle P, and angle P which is 90 degrees is equal to the corresponding angle Q, and similarly C is equal to R, D is equal to S. So here what we have got, all the corresponding angles are equal. So that means if the corresponding angles are equal, what we can cover? We can say that the shapes are same. What we can say, if the angles are equal, the shape is same. So here next thing, what we are taking AB by PQ, that means this side is corresponding to this, so we are taking the ratio of corresponding sides here. AB by PQ, yes, we have got 3 by 6 which is equal to 1 by 2, and one more BC by QR, BC is corresponding to QR, so BC by QR 2 by 4 which is again 1 by 2. Similarly CD by RS, one more corresponding sides ratio, that is 3 by 6 is 1 by 2. Similarly AD by PS also we have got as 1 by 2. So by observing this, what we can say, the ratio of corresponding sides is same, that is equal to 1 by 2. Okay, so here both the conditions should satisfy. First one, angle, corresponding angle should be same, so that the shape of the figure should be same, and the ratio of the corresponding sides should be same. So if these two satisfy, then we say that these two figures are similar. Okay, corresponding angle should be same and the ratio of the corresponding sides should be same. Next, coming to congruency, yes, we have taken the same two rectangles ABCD and PQRS. So here also the corresponding angles are equal. Why? Because both are rectangles. So each of the rectangle angle will be equal to 90 degrees. So corresponding angle A to B is equal, and B angle is equal to Q, and angle C is equal to R, and angle D is equal to the corresponding angle S. And next one, here also we have got all corresponding angles equal. The next condition is, now we are finding the ratio of the corresponding sides. AB by PQ, BC by QR, and CD by RS, and AD by this. So let us find out. We have got AB by PQ as 1 by 1, which is equal to 1. BC by QR we have got again 2 by 2, that is equal to 1 by 1, that is equal to 1. So similarly we have got all corresponding sides ratio equal, that is 1 by 1, which is equal to 1. So here also we can say that the ratio of the corresponding sides are equal, and also that is equal to 1. The only one difference is that in similarity the ratio of the corresponding sides is same and here also same, but the ratio is 1 by 2, which is not equal to 1. It can be equal to 1 also sometimes. So if it is equal to 1, then we can say that that is congruent and similar. If that is not equal to 1, then we can say that that is only similar. As we already know that congruent figures can be called as similar, but because all congruent figures are similar figures, but all similar figures are not congruent. So that is the small difference between these two. So here what we can say, so as the ratios are same and corresponding angles are same, so we can say that they are similar, and also as the ratio is equal to 1, we can say that the sizes are same and shape is same, so we can say that they are congruent to each other. Okay, and this ratio, the ratio of the corresponding sides is called as scale factor, which is denoted by K. Now let us see the similarity of regular polygons. So let us consider two examples. First of all, I am taking three-sided regular polygon, that is equilateral triangle. I am taking two equilateral triangle, that is equilateral triangle ABC and PQR, and we know that in each equilateral triangle, each of the angle will be equal to 60 degrees. So angle ABC is equal to 60 degrees, and in this also angle P, angle Q, angle R is equal to 60 degrees. Whereas ABC triangle is of 2 centimeter side, and have taken PQR of 3 centimeters side each. So what we observe here, I am writing my observations here. Angle A is equal to angle B, angle B is equal to angle Q, and angle C is equal to angle R. That means corresponding angles are equal. And here AB by PQ, I have found out 2 by 3, BC by QR 2 by 3, CA by PR, that is also 2 by 3. So in this, the ratio of corresponding sides is also equal, that is 2 by 3. We know that if corresponding angles are equal and the ratio of corresponding sides is equal, then we say that these two are similar. So that means the equilateral triangle ABC is similar to the equilateral triangle PQR. Now let us have one more one. The regular polygon of four sides is square. So I am taking two squares here, that is ABCD and PQRS. So ABCD, I am taking each side of 2 centimeters, and this I am taking as 3 centimeters. So here also what will you get? Angle A is equal to angle P, that is 90 degrees. We know that in square all the angles will be 90 degrees. So similarly angle B is equal to angle Q is equal to 90, and angle C is equal to angle R is equal to 90 degrees, and angle D is equal to angle S is equal to 90 degrees. That means all the corresponding angles are equal here. And also AB by PQ and BC by QR, similarly all the ratios of corresponding sides you will get as 2 by 3, that is equal to 2 by 3. So here also corresponding angles are equal, and also the ratio of corresponding sides is also equal. So we can say that these two are similar. So if you continue this for the next regular polygon, regular pentagon, regular hexagon, you will get the same. So that is, we can conclude with this that regular polygons having equal number of sides are always similar. That means two equilateral triangles are always similar, two squares are always similar, and two regular pentagons are always similar, and two regular hexagons are always similar, and two regular heptagons are always similar, and so on. That means the regular polygons having equal number of sides are always similar. Remember this. Now let us see the similarity of triangles. We know that triangle is an example for polygon. So whatever we have learned, the similarity of polygons, the same rules apply here also. So two triangles are said to be similar if their corresponding sides are equal and their corresponding sides are in same ratio, that means in proportion. So now for example, let us take triangle ABC and PQ are two triangles such that angle A is equal to angle P and angle B is equal to angle Q and angle C is equal to angle R. And if AB by PQ, BC by QR is equal to CA by PS is equal to some K, which is scale factor, then we say that the triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. This is the symbol of similarity, and this is total thing is called as symbolic form, and we read it this symbol as E is similar to. So how we read this? Triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. So now let us take some notes. If the scale factor is greater than 1, then we get enlarged figures. If the scale factor is equal to 1, then we get congruent figures. That means we get the figures of same size. If k is less than 1, that means if the scale factor is less than 1, then we get reduced figures. So now to better understand this, I will tell you with clear examples in each case. Now let us have a look at on the applications of similarity. So in photography, to enlarge or reduce the original image in proportion. In photography, what the photographer will do, if we want an enlarged image, that means big size image of a small size image which is original one, then what the photographer will do, he will increase the length and breadth dimensions of the original image in same proportion, so that the photo will come exactly same as that original one. That means it looks similar to the original one. And to reduce also, he will reduce the same dimensions in same ratio. Okay, so in second one, in flexi printing, to enlarge the original image with some scale factor greater than 1. So in flexi printing, what we will get, we will give some small size image and he will get the print big size one. So that means we are taking the scale factor greater than 1. And for mini Xerox copies with k less than 1. So mini Xerox will be of small size when compared to the original one. So there you will get the scale factor less than 1. Scale factor less than 1 means we will get small size figures, small size similar figures. So in construction plans of building or roads or etc. with scale factor less than 1. So if you look at the construction plans, for example our building plans or any other plans, or otherwise you can take social studies maps also, they are all small when compared to the original one. Okay, so they are similar to the original one but they are of small size, so the scale factor is less than 1 in that case. So if the scale factor is less than 1, then we will get the small sized similar figures, that means reduced figures or diminished figures. If the scale factor is greater than 1, then we can get enlarged figures which are similar to the original one. So now let us have some examples. In each case, what will happen if k is greater than 1, k is equal to 1 and k is less than 1, with some examples clear. Now let us see what is meant by scale factor in detail. So the definition of scale factor is not given clearly in our ACRT class 10 Telangana textbook. So now I am giving here, I am trying to give the clear definition here, okay. The scale factor is the ratio of length of any side of enlarged or reduced figure in proportion to the length of its corresponding side in the original figure, which is denoted by k. So the scale factor is the ratio of length of the side of enlarged or reduced figure by length of the corresponding side of the original figure. So remember this, first of all we are taking the length of the side from enlarged or reduced figure by, then we are taking original figure's side. So you can remember in simple words that k is equal to new by old. Old is nothing but original one, new will be the enlarged one or reduced one. So now let us take one more note. If k is greater than 1, that means if scale factor is greater than 1, then we get enlarged figures. Just now we have noted down this. Now let us understand this in detail with the help of this example. So if ABCD is the original image with dimensions 15 cm and 10 cm, and PQRS is a similar flex print. PQRS is the flex print which is in big size compared to ABCD. So what is this? This is enlarged figure and this is the original figure. So what we have got, we know that if scale factor is greater than 1, then we should get enlarged figure. So we are already taking the enlarged figure, then we should get scale factor greater than 1. Now let's see whether we can get greater than 1 or not. And PQRS is a similar flex print copy with dimensions 3 meter by 2 meter. Find the scale factor. So I am taking ABCD and I am labeling 15 cm, 10 cm, 3 meter and 2 meter. So now let us find out. First of all, I am writing the given information. Given that similar flex print. Similar means what? This is similar to this. These two are similar. So given ABCD is similar to PQRS and AB is equal to CD is equal to 15. This and these are equal. Why? Because these are opposite sides in rectangle. And BC and AD are 10 centimeters. This and this are opposite, so I am taking 10 centimeter. And in PQRS, what is given? 3 meter is given. So if this is 3 meter, then this will be also 3 meter. So that is PQ is equal to RS is equal to 3 meter. That is 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So 3 meters is equal to 300 centimeters. And similarly, QRPS is equal to 2 meter, 2 meter, 2 meter. And we know that 2 meter is equal to 200 centimeters. So now we have to find out the scale factor by using the formula. Scale factor K is equal to length of the side of the enlarged figure. I am not writing enlarged or reduced. Why? Because we have got in the question that enlarged. So I am writing only enlarged figure by length of the corresponding side of the original figure. We cannot take any side. For example, if you are taking PQ, then you should compulsory take AB only on the in the denominator. We cannot take any other side. So that is why we should stress this word, that is corresponding. Okay. So here I am taking enlarged one, that is PQ side, and its corresponding side is what? AB. So I am taking AB, and it is given as 3 meters. So I am writing 3 meter. By AB value is 15 centimeter. 3 meter value is what? 300 centimeters. These are in different units, so we have to make them first of all of same units. So 300 by 15, and if you simplify, you will get 20. So 20 is nothing but what? Scale factor, that is 20, which is greater than 1. So we have got greater than 1 or not. So that is the, if k is greater than 1, we get enlarged figures. That means if we are given enlarged figures, obviously we will get the scale factor greater than 1. This is the meaning. And similarly, if you want to take PQ by AB, you can take and to find out the scale factor. If not, you can take any other case. So I am finding here QR by BC, 2 meter by 10 centimeter, that is 200 centimeters by 10 centimeter. If you cancel, then you will get 20. So you can take this, you can take this by this also. You can take this side and its corresponding side also. You can take this pair also. You can take any pair of enlarged side and its corresponding side, and you can find out the ratio. In each and every case, you will always get the scale factor 20, that is common in every case. So here we have got the scale factor 20, which is greater than 1. So that is why we will get always enlarged figure if the scale factor is greater than 1. Now let's see if the scale factor is 1 and if the scale factor is less than 1, what we will get. Let's see in the next examples. Now let us see the next example. Note 2, if scale factor k is equal to 1, we get congruent figures. Okay, now let us have example for this to understand. If ABCD is an A4 size image, ABCD is an A4 size image, and PQRS is the photocopy of ABCD taken in the same A4 size paper without changing the dimensions of the image, then find the scale factor. Okay. This is the copy and this is the original. And A4 size dimensions are given 297 millimeter by 210 millimeter. So I am taking ABCD first. So I am labeling 210 millimeter here and 297 millimeter here. And similarly PQR is also same. So scale factor K is equal to, we know that scale factor definition is what? Side of the enlarged or reduced ones. That means side of the new one by side of the old one. That means original one. So side of the photocopy PQRS and below that in the denominator's place corresponding side of the original, that is ABC. So I am taking PQ here. So what is its corresponding side in original? AB. So PQ by AB, 210 millimeter by 210 millimeter, you will get 1. So here we have got scale factor is equal to 1. That means what is this? If scale factor is 1, then we get congruent figures. So similarly, if you take PQ by AB, or if you take QR by BC, or if you take SR by DC, and if you take PS by AB, you will always get is equal to 1. Scale factor is equal to 1. That is common in all cases. So if K is equal to 1, then we get congruent figures is okay, satisfied. Now let us have one more note. If scale factor K is less than 1, then we get reduced figures. So now let us understand by using one example. The distances between three villages in a town A, B and C are AB is equal to 4 km, BC is equal to 3 km and AC is equal to 5 km. And in a map of the town, the three distances are taken as 4 cm and 3 cm and 5 cm respectively. Find the scale factor. Okay. So now here map is what? Map is smaller when compared to the original one. So map is what? It's a reduced figure. So now we should get what? Scale factor less than 1. Why? Because if K is less than 1, we should get reduced figures. So here it is given that this is the reduced figure. So let's see we can get less than 1 or not. So I am taking ABC, which is the original one. So AB is given as 4 kilometers and BC is given as 3 kilometers and AC is the distance between A and C villages given as 5 kilometers. I am taking A dash, B dash, C dash is the map. Okay. The scale factor formula is what? Distance is in map by distance in original one. So that is A dash, B dash is the map one and I am taking AB, that is the original one. So A dash, B dash I have taken as 4 centimeters. So 4 centimeters by 4 kilometers. We know that 1 kilometer is equal to 1000 meters and 1 meter is equal to 100 centimeters. So obviously 1 kilometer is equal to 1 lakh centimeters. So here the units are not same, so we have to first convert them of same units. So 4 centimeter by 4 kilometer becomes 4 lakh centimeters. Centimeter get cancelled, 4 ones are, and here 4 1 lakhs are. So 1 by 1 lakh you will get, and if you further simplify you will get 0.0001, which is less than 1. So here we have got scale factor less than 1. That means we have a reduced figure. Okay, this is the original one and this is the reduced figure. So similarly, if you find out in any case, you will always get the scale factor same, that is less than 1. So if scale factor less than 1, then we get reduced figure or diminished figures. Okay. Now let's see some more important points. Equiangular triangles. What is meant by equiangular triangles? In the name itself it is there. Equi means what? Equal. Angular is related to angles. Triangles means triangles, that means equal angles triangles, that means the triangles with equal corresponding angles are called as equiangular triangles. Okay, for example, in triangle ABC and PQR, if angle A is equal to its corresponding angle P and if angle B is equal to its corresponding angle Q and angle C is equal to its corresponding angle R, then we say that triangle ABC and triangle PQ are equiangular triangles. Okay. This is very important notes related to the equiangular triangles. Now let us read the first note. Any two equiangular triangles are always similar. Any two equiangulars are always similar. Why? Because their corresponding sides ratios are equal. So we know that to say about the triangles similarity, we should verify two conditions. First condition is all corresponding angles should be same, and the equiangular triangles we know that the angles are already equal. And what is the second condition? The corresponding sides ratio. So it is given that in equiangular triangles the second condition is always true. Okay, it is proved with the help of the theorem, that is basic proportionality theorem or Thales theorem of similar triangles. Now we are going to have the proof also. So now from the first note we can conclude that the two conditions to be satisfied to verify the similarity of triangles are interdependent. To say about the similarity of triangles, we need to check two conditions. First one is the corresponding angles, whether they are equal or not, and the second condition, the sides ratio, the corresponding sides ratio, whether they are equal or not. Okay, and these two conditions are interdependent. That means if condition 1 holds good, then automatically the condition 2 will also be holds good. And if the condition 2 holds good, then the condition 1 also holds good. So that means if corresponding angles are equal, then the ratio of corresponding sides will be equal. And if the corresponding sides ratio is equal, then automatically the corresponding angles will be equal. These two conditions are interdependent. Remember this. So now let us have basic proportionality theorem or Thales theorem of similar triangles. Remember dear students, here I am giving you one important note which is very useful and powerful. It seems simple but it's very useful. So here I wrote the basic proportionality theorem or Thales theorem and also included of similar triangles word also. It is not given in textbook. The title given in the textbook as basic proportionality theorem or Thales theorem. So why I am writing of similar triangles? It helps us to remember and recall easily that this theorem is related to this topic. Okay, so that you may not forget during exams. Okay, so you should take the theorem's title with the topic name also. If you include this word of similar triangles, then it is very much useful. Okay, so I use the same tip in the triangles chapter also. When I am taking the Pythagoras theorem, I use to take it as Pythagoras theorem of right angle triangles. Why? Because Pythagoras derived so many things. So to avoid the confusion, I used to take as Pythagoras theorem of right angle triangles. So we need to compulsory add or include the topic's name to which the theorem or concept is related to. So now let us look at the statement first. What is the statement of basic proportionality theorem and Thales theorem of similar triangles? If a line is drawn parallel to one side of a triangle to intersect the other two sides in distinct points, then the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. So now let us understand with the help of a diagram here. If a line drawn, I am taking ABC triangle first, and a line is drawn parallel to one side. Here you can see DE is drawn parallel to one side, that is BC, to intersect the other two sides. This line is intersecting the other two sides in distinct points, in different points, that is D and E. Then the other two sides are divided in the same ratio. We should prove that the two sides are divided in the same ratio. That means what is given in triangle ABC, DE is parallel to BC and DE is cutting the AB at D point and intersecting the AC at E point. And what we have to prove? Required to prove. RTP means what? Required to prove. In short, the D is dividing the AB in AD and DB ratio and E is dividing AC in the ratio AE by EC. So we should prove that the two ratios are equal. So now further let us construct one thing. So first of all let us join this D and C. So I am joining like this and join this also, B and E, like this. Okay, so I am writing here join C comma D and B comma E, and also draw, let us draw two perpendiculars from E to AB. From E to AB let us draw one perpendicular and let us suppose that EN. So draw EN which is perpendicular to AB, and one more perpendicular from D, that is DM, which is perpendicular to AC. DM perpendicular to AC. Our constructions are completed. Now let us prove. Okay, so here in this case I am taking, just forget about this part. So here you can see ADE triangle is one triangle and BDE is one more triangle. Okay, so I am taking the area of this triangle and this triangle BDE. So area of triangle ADE is equal to half into base into height now. So I am taking this base, AD as the base I am taking. So AD is perpendicular, that is EN will be height. So half into base into height is the area of the triangle ADE, and now I am finding area of triangle BDE. Okay, BDE, this triangle's area I am finding, that is half into base is what BD I am taking. And if you observe this, the triangle BDE is an obtuse angle triangle, and we know that obtuse angle triangle, two of its altitudes will be in the exterior. So this En, which is altitude of this same BDE triangle outside, that is En. So we can take En here, which is also the height of this triangle. So En you will get same here. So if you divide this by this, you will get area of triangle ADE by area of triangle BDE, that is equal to half into AD into En by half into BD into En. So here half and half get cancelled, En common, so get cancelled. So what will you get? AD by BD. Let us suppose that this is equation number 1. So why we are taking AD and BD only here? Why? Because we have to prove that AD by BD. So now we are taking AD and DB and we are dividing to get AD and AD by BD. Now let us take another one. So area of the same triangle ADE in terms of another base and another height. So I am taking here now this AE as base. So we know that half into base into height. I am taking AE as base. So AE is perpendicular, which is DM will be the height now. So DM. So here again area of triangle. Just forget about this. I am taking CDE triangle now. CDE, which is equal to half into base I am taking as EC. Why? Because EC. So EC and its perpendicular is outside, that is DM. So write DM. So now if you further do the same thing, that is area of triangle ADE by area of triangle CDE, that is equal to half into AE by AE into DM by half into EC into DM. So here half and half one get cancelled, DM and DM get cancelled, you will get AE by EC. Let us suppose that this is equation number 2. Now here if you observe in equation number 1 and equation number 2, the numerator is area of triangle ADE and the area of triangle ADE, both are same. Now if you observe the denominator, area of triangle BDE and area of triangle CDE. Now let us compare the triangle BDE and CDE. If you observe here, the triangle CDE, this triangle, and triangle BDE, this triangle, are on the same base DE. Also they are between the same parallels. DE is parallel to BC. They are lying between same parallels, and also they are on the same base, which is DE. And we already learnt in 9th class that any two triangles which are in between same parallel lines and are on the same base are always having the equal area. So that means here the area of triangle BDE will be always equal to area of CDE. That means numerators are also equal and denominators are also equal. So we can say that equation number 1 is equal to equation number 2. So let us take that. Since triangle BDE and triangle CDE are on the same base, that is DE, and in between the same parallel lines, or you can write same parallels, that is DE parallel BC, they are in between DE and BC. So area of triangle BDE will be equal to area of triangle CDE. Let it be equation number 3. So from 1 and 2 and 3, what can write? This is equal to this, that is AD by BD is equal to AE by EC. So what is this? We have to prove whatever we have to prove, we have got now. So what we can write last? Hence proved. Once again I am just giving quick explanation. So first of all, what you have to do, you have to write given required to prove that. Okay, you can do these two things simple. So now what you have to do, you have to join this C and D and B and E. Then you have to draw two perpendiculars, that is EN and DM. So after that, what you have to find, you have to neglect this. Okay, this big triangle is there now, AEB, that is divided into two triangles with the help of this DE. So first of all, you have to find out the area of this and you have to find out the area of this triangle. This area is divided by this area, you will get equation number 1. Similarly, if you ignore this, you will get this area by this area as equation number 2. So after that, you have to compare this triangle's area and this triangle's area, that is CDE and BDE. So we know that these two areas are equal. With the help of this, we should equate this and we will get the required answer. Okay, fine. Now let's see the converse of Thales theorem or basic proportionality theorem of similar triangles. Theorem number 8.2, page number 201. If a line divides two sides of a triangle in the same ratio, then the line is parallel to the third side. Okay. So to understand this, let us have one diagram, that is ABC triangle. Okay, one line DE is dividing the AB and AC in the same ratio. That means the D is dividing AB in the ratio AD by DB, and point E is dividing the AC in the ratio AE by EC. So given that these two ratios are equal, so what we have to prove? We have to prove that this DE is parallel to BC. So actually we have several methods to prove theorem statements, like direct to proof, indirect to proof, contradiction method and induction method and so on. So here we are not proving directly. So here we have to prove indirectly. So for that, let us assume that DE is not parallel to BC. What we have to prove actually? We have to prove DE is parallel to BC. But what we are assuming? Assume that DE is not parallel to BC. And we know that if D is not parallel to BC, then there exists a parallel line which is from D. So let us draw that DE dash which is parallel to BC. If DE is not parallel to BC, then there exists some DE dash which is parallel to BC starting from D. Okay, so I am drawing DE dash. So let us suppose that this is E dash which is parallel, and we know that if DE is parallel to this, then from basic proportionality theorem what we can write? AD by DB is equal to AE dash by E dash C. AE dash by E dash C. Is that clear? From BPT theorem, that is basic proportionality theorem. So here let it be equation number 2. And from 1 and 2, here you can see AD by DB, AD by DB, both are same. So we can equate 1 and 2. So from 1 and 2, what we can write? AD by DB, both are same. So I am writing directly this RHS, that is AE by EC, and here AE dash by E dash. Okay. Now let us add 1 on both sides. Add 1 on both sides. So what will you get? AE by EC plus 1, AE dash by E dash C plus 1. So here you will get AE plus EC into 1 EC by EC is equal to AE dash by plus E dash C by E dash. Here what you can get? AE plus EC. AE plus EC you will get AC, that is AC by EC, and here also AE dash plus E dash C you will get AC by E dash. AC get cancelled, you will get, if you reciprocate it, you will get EC is equal to E dash C. And you can observe here both E and E dash are on the same line, that is AC. So here we have got EC is equal to E dash C. So from this what we can say? Therefore E and E dash coincide. So if these two are coinciding, then that means what? E point is nothing but E dash. So both coincide. So what we can write here? This we have already constructed now. So from this what we can write? DE parallel to BC implies DE is parallel to BC. Hence proved. Now let us have some quick explanation of this theorem. Okay, converse of basic propositional theorem. So here already ratios are given equal. We have to prove that this is parallel to this. So first of all we have to assume that this DE is not parallel to this. So we can get some DE dash which is parallel to this. So if you are taking this as parallel, then by applying DPT theorem you can find out the ratio that are equal. So from 1 and 2 we can equate this. So you will get E and E dash coincide. So if E and E dash coincide, then DE dash will become DE which is parallel to BC. Then this is our required answer. So hence proved. Now let us see some criterions for the similarity of triangles. So we have total 4, but these two are considered as a single one. We don't. Okay. So first of all, AAA or AA, that is angle or angle. And second one is SSS, that is side criterion, and the third one is SAS, that is side angle criterion. Now let us see the statements first, then let us talk about these. So AAA, that is angle criterion for similarity of triangles. So dear students, once again I am repeating why I am taking the concept name along with the criterion. Why? Because you may not get any confused that this criterion is related for which topic. Okay, so that is the important thing you should understand. So let us look at the statement. In two triangles, if the angles are equal, then the sides opposite to the equal angles are in the same ratio or proportional, and hence two triangles are similar. Okay, that means in two triangles, if the angles are equal, then sides will be in proportion. Okay, that means for similarity, what we should check here? We should check that first of all, the corresponding angle should be equal, and the second condition is what? The ratio of corresponding sides will be equal. So condition 1 and condition 2. But in this statement what is given? If condition 1 holds good, then condition 2 also should hold good. Okay. So that is given in this. So if you observe this criterion, SSS criterion for similarity of triangles, in two triangles, the sides of one triangle are proportional to the sides of another triangles, then their corresponding angles are equal, and hence the triangles are similar. So here what he gave, if condition 2 satisfies, then automatically condition 1 also satisfies. That means if the corresponding sides are in same ratio, then the angles will be equal. So in the case of equiangular triangles topic, we studied that these two conditions are interdependent. So the same we are learning now once again in the form of AAA criterion and SSS criterion, and these two criterions are converses of each other, we can say, and we can prove this with the help of some logical statements. So we have separate theorems for proving these all. And now let us look at the AA criterion for the similarity of triangles. Since AA is similar to this only, now let us look at the statement and understand why it is similar to this. If two angles of one triangle are respectively equal to two angles of another triangle, then the two triangles are similar. So now dear students, let us understand that if two angles of one triangle are respectively equal to two angles of another triangle, then what happens to the third angles of each triangle? By angle sum property of triangle, we know that three angles sum will be always equal to 180 degrees. So if two angles are equal to the two angles of another triangle, then obviously the third angle of first triangle will be equal to the third angle of the second triangle. So that means it comes under what? This only again. The three angles of one triangle are equal to the three angles of another triangle. So that means this is similar to this, but the statement is different and we don't have any proof for this separately. Why? Because this is same as this. So we have proof for this. So you can write the same proof if you are getting this or this in the exam to write the proof. Okay. So now let us look at the SAS criterion for similarity of triangles. If one angle of a triangle is equal to one angle of the other triangle, and the including sides, the two sides including sides of these angles are proportional, then the two triangles are similar. So you should understand that if two sides are proportional and the included angle is equal, then the two triangles are similar. These are the statements. Now let us see the proofs of these criterions. Okay. Once again I am reminding you, we don't have separate proof for this AA criterion. Why? Because AA criterion comes under this only. This is similar to this only. Why? Because two angles. If you are talking about two angles equality, then third angle will be also equal by angle sum property of triangle. So let us see the proofs of this and this and this. Now let us see the proof of AAA criterion for similarity of triangles. Okay, in two triangles, if the angles are equal, then the sides opposite to the equal angles are in the same ratio or in proportion, and hence the triangles are similar. So what you have to prove? What is given? Given that angles are equal, and we have to prove that corresponding sides will be in the same ratio, and hence with the two conditions we can prove that triangles are similar. Now let us have our diagrams. ABC and DEF, I have taken two triangles in which the corresponding angles are equal. Angle A is equal to angle G, angle B is equal to angle E, and angle C is equal to angle F. Okay, this is the given information. And what we have to prove? We have to prove that corresponding sides are in the same ratio. That is AB by DE and BC by DEF and AC by DF. So now further we have to construct something. So that is, first of all, locate P comma Q points on DE and DF such that AB is equal to DP and AC is equal to DQ. So here I am taking a point P and here I am taking a point Q. P should be taken on DE and Q is on DF such that this DP is equal to AB and this DQ is equal to AC. And after that you have to join this. Okay, and join P comma Q. Okay, so now if you observe here carefully, this angle A is equal to angle G. It is given already in the given information, and this AB and this DP we have taken by construction. So these are equal, and AC and this AC length, that is DQ, are equal. So from SAS criterion of congruency of triangles, we can say that these two will be congruent. So I am writing the same. In triangle ABC and triangle DEF. Okay, so what is that? AB is equal to DP by construction and angle A is equal to angle G. It is given already, and AC is equal to DQ by our construction. So side angle side. So we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DPQ under SAS congruency criterion. So after getting these two congruent, then we can say that this angle B will be equal to angle P. Why? Because these two are what? Corresponding angles. So therefore angle B will be equal to angle P. Why? As these are congruent, so corresponding parts of congruent triangles will be equal. So CP, CT. And we know that angle B is equal to angle E, which is given. And now we have got that angle P is equal to angle P. So that means these three angles are equal. So we can write angle P is equal to angle B is equal to angle E is equal to angle P. So here we have got that angle P is equal to angle E. So here if you observe this and this are intersected by this line. So this is acting as a transversal and these two angles are corresponding angles. And if the corresponding angles are equal, then we can say that PQ is parallel to EF. So therefore PQ is parallel to EF. After getting PQ is parallel to EF, we can apply the basic proportionality theorem. Now we have got that PQ is parallel to this. So from BPT, this is parallel to this. We know that if a line drawn parallel to the third side, then definitely the line which is drawn parallel definitely divides the other two sides in the same ratio. So we can write dP by PE. So dP by PE is equal to dQ by QF. dQ by QF. And if you reciprocate it, you will get, if you reverse it, PE by dP is equal to QF by dQ. And now I'm adding 1 on each side. On both sides I'm adding 1. So PE by dP plus 1, QF by dQ plus 1. And if you further simplify, you will get PE plus dP into 1 dP by dP is equal to QF plus dQ into 1 dQ by dQ. So now if you observe here, PE plus dP, you will get dE. So I am writing in the place of that, I am writing dE. So dE by dP is equal to QF and dQ. QF is this one and dQ is this one. So if you add this, you will get dF. So that is FD, you can write that is by dQ. And further if you reciprocate it, you will get dP by dE, dQ by FD. So we have already taken that this dP is equal to AB. So I am writing in the place of dP, I am writing AB by DE as it is. And in the place of dQ, we can write AC. So that is AC by FD. So let it be equation number 1. So similarly, instead of PQ, if you take another this side, then you can show that that is parallel to this and you can get like this. So that is AB by DE is equal to BC by EF, which is equal to 2. You can do the same process, but without proving that, you can directly write similarly in short. So I am writing similarly AB by DE is equal to BC by EF. So from 1 and 2, AB by DE, both are same. So you can write these three together. So I am writing AB by DE is equal to BC by EF, that is equal to AC by FD, which is our required thing to prove. Okay, what we have to prove? We have to show that the corresponding sides are in same ratio. Yes, we have proved. And what we can say from this condition and from given condition. Given condition is that corresponding angles are equal. And now what we have got? Corresponding sides ratio is equal. So from these two conditions we can say that the two triangles are similar. So therefore triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Hence proved. Now let's see some quick explanation of this theorem. So given that all the corresponding angles are equal and we have to show that the corresponding sides are in the same ratio and hence they are similar. So first of all, for that we need to take two equiangular triangles. So I am taking ABD and DEF. So angle A is equal to angle D and angle B is equal to angle E and angle C is equal to angle F. Okay, and after taking that, what I am taking? I am taking P and Q points on, one is on DE and one is on DF, such that this DP is exactly equal to AB and this DQ is exactly equal to AC. So with this, what we can write? This side is equal to this side and this angle is equal to this angle, which is already given, and this side is equal to this side. By our construction we have taken, so side angle side, we can say that these two triangles are congruent. So after taking that these two are congruent, we should compare these two angles, angle B and angle P. These two are corresponding angles, and we know that the corresponding angles of congruent triangles will be always equal. So the angle B will be equal to angle P, and it is already given that angle B is equal to angle E. Why? Because these two are equiangular triangles. Okay, so these two angles are equal and these two angles are equal. That means these three angles will be equal to one another. That is, angle P is equal to angle E, we can write. So once if we get angle P is equal to angle E, okay, we can say that this PQ is parallel to this. So after getting this PQ as parallel to this, then we can apply the basic proportionality theorem to get these ratios, and you will get one ratio like this, which is equation number 1, and similarly you can get the equation number 2. So from 1 and 2 we can get the corresponding sides ratio is equal. So after getting this, we can conclude that angles are equal and the corresponding sides ratio is equal, so we can say that these two triangles are similar. Now let us see the SSS criterion for similarity of triangles and proof. Theorem number 8.4, page number 209. If in two triangles the sides of one triangle are proportional to the sides of the other triangle, then their corresponding angles are equal and hence the triangles are similar. So what is given? Given that in the two triangles the corresponding sides ratios are equal, and with this we have to show that the angles are equal and hence they are similar. Now let's see how to prove. For that I have taken two triangles. One is triangle ABC and triangle DEF, and you can see triangle ABC is small in size and DEF big in size. So now for that let us locate two points P comma Q on DE and DF respectively, such that AB is equal to DB and AC is equal to DQ, and join P comma Q. So now what I am taking a point P on DE such that this DP length is equal to AB, and I am taking a point Q on DF such that this DQ is equal to AC. And now after that what I am doing? I am just joining this. I am joining PQ, okay? So after that what we have to do? Let us take this condition AB by DE is equal to CA by FT. What I am taking? I am taking given condition, that is AB by DE is equal to CA by FT. Okay? This AB, in the place of AB we can write DP. Why? Because we have taken. So in the place of AB I am writing DP by DE, which is equal to, in the place of CA I am writing DQ. So DQ by FD. Now I am reciprocating it, so I am just reversing. So you will get DE by DP is equal to FD by DQ. Now what I am doing? On subtracting 1 from both sides. On subtracting from both sides, what will you get? DE by DP minus 1 is equal to FD by DQ minus 1. And if you further simplify, you will get DE minus DP into 1 DP by DP, which is equal to FD by DQ minus DQ. So here if you observe carefully, DE minus DP, this total thing is DE minus DP. So if you subtract this, you will get PE. So I am writing PE by DP. And here FD minus DQ. So you will get QF. So I am writing QF. Okay, QF by DQ. Now what I am doing, I am just reciprocating it. So you will get DP by PE is equal to DQ by QF. Now here we have got DP by PE is equal to DQ by QF. That is DP by PE is equal to DQ by QF. Now here we can say that the PQ is dividing this DE and DF in the same ratio. So that means by using converse of BPT theorem we can say that this PQ is parallel to this. Okay, if a line drawn is dividing two sides of a triangle in equal ratios, then we say that the line is parallel to the third side. So we are doing the same. So we can say that PQ is parallel to EF. So therefore PQ is parallel to EF. If PQ is parallel to EF, these two are parallel lines and this is a transversal. So you can say that this angle is equal to this. Why? Because these two are corresponding angles. So therefore what we can write? Angle angle P is equal to angle E, and similarly angle Q is equal to angle F, that is angle Q is equal to angle F. Why? Because they are corresponding angles. Corresponding angles, when two parallel lines are intersected by the transversal, then we say that corresponding angles are always equal. So if you observe this DPQ and DEF triangles, two triangles, this angle is common. This angle is common or not? So here already we have got this angle is equal to this, and this angle is equal to this, and this angle is common in both the triangles, that is DPQ and DEF. So what we can write again? Angle D is equal to angle D, which is a common angle. So now here what we can get? First corresponding pair of angles is equal, second corresponding pair is also equal, and third corresponding pair of angles is also equal. So that means all the angles of this triangle are equal to all the angles of this triangle. So what we can write? By the AAA criterion, we can say that these two triangles are similar or not. So I am writing the same. So therefore, as the angles of triangle DPQ are equal to the angles of triangle DEF, so we can write triangle DPQ is similar to triangle DEF. Okay. So if any two triangles are similar, so we can say that the ratio of corresponding sides will be same. So I am writing the same. So as these are similar, so I am writing DP by DE. Can we write or not? This is the triangle of this small triangle, and this is the side of the big triangle. So DP by DE, and similarly PQ by EF, PQ by EF, and this side by this side, that is DQ by DF, DQ by DF. Okay, and I am writing the same. In the place of DP, what we can write? AB. Why? Because we have taken already. So in the place of DP, I am writing AB. AB by DE is equal to PQ by EF. I am writing the same. PQ by EF. So here in the place of DQ, what we can write? We can write AC. So I am writing the same. AC by DF. Okay, let it be equation. So let it be equation number 1 first, and let it be equation number 2. So now from these two, what we can say? AB by DE is common, CA by FD is common. So here BC by EF, and here PQ by EF. So by observing this, what we can write? BC by EF is equal to PQ by EF, so that PC is equal to PQ. So with this, what we can write? BC is equal to PQ. So if BC is equal to PQ, okay, already we have taken that these two sides are equal, and these two sides are equal. By construction, we have already taken this side is equal to this, and this side is equal to this, and now we have got that this third side is also equal. So what we can write here? These two triangles are congruent under SSS criterion. So from this, what we can write? Therefore, triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DPQ under yes criterion of congruency of triangles. So now here we have got that. Here if you observe here carefully, the triangle DPQ is similar to the triangle DEF, and this DPQ is congruent to this. That means these two are congruent, and if this is similar to this, then the congruent triangle will be also similar to this or not. So therefore triangle ABC is similar. First of all, let us write ABC is triangle to DPQ, and the DPQ is similar to triangle DEF. So finally, what we can write? Triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Okay, and what we can write? If that is similar, we can also write that the angles will be equal. Angle A will be equal to angle D, angle B will be equal to angle E, and angle C is equal to angle F. You can prove like this also, or otherwise you can prove in another method that by taking these angles, angle P is equal to angle B and angle Q is equal to angle C, then angle A will be equal to angle D. Then you can take that also. You can first to prove this, and you can next to prove that this one. But I am proving that first of all I am proving that these are similar, and then I am taking the angles. So you can prove in any way. Now let us see the quick explanation of this theorem once again. So what is given? Two triangles are having sides in proportion, and we have to prove that the corresponding angles are also equal. So first of all, we have taken that the sides are in proportion, and here less than 1 is there. That means this is small in size and this is big in size. So we have to take two triangles of different sizes. So first of all, we have to take that P and Q on DE and DQ such that AB is equal to DP and AC is equal to DQ. Then afterwards, what we have to prove? We have to prove that this is parallel to this. Okay, after once proving this is parallel to this, we can get that these two angles are equal, these two angles are equal. So we will get that this is completely similar to this. Why? Because all the angles of DPQ are equal to all the angles of DEF. So we will get these two triangles similar. So after getting these two angles are similar, then we prove that this is congruent to this. So after proving this is congruent to this, then we can say that these two are similar or these two are similar, and we can prove that the angles are equal. That's it. And now let us see how we can prove in another way. Okay, a slight difference is there. Now let us do that same. So now up to this part is okay. BC is equal to PQ we have got now, and slight difference is there. So here we can write that these three sides of ABC triangle are equal to these three sides of DPQ. So we can say that those two triangles are congruent under SSS rule. What we can write? Under SSS criterion of congruency. So now we have got that these two triangles are equal. So if these two triangles are congruent, then we can say that angle A is equal to angle D, and angle B is equal to angle P, and angle C is equal to angle Q. Why? Because CPC. If two triangles are congruent, then all the corresponding parts will be equal. So now, just now we have got that the triangle DPQ is similar to triangle DEF. That means angle D will be equal to angle D, angle T will be equal to angle F, and angle Q will be equal to angle E. So here angle P will be equal to angle E, and angle Q will be equal to angle F. So what we can write? Therefore angle A will be equal to angle D, same, and then angle B we can write it as angle B will be equal to angle E, and angle C will be equal to angle F. So all the angles are equal. So if all the angles are equal, and from the given condition that all the corresponding sides are in same ratio, from these two conditions we can say that triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Okay, so now here what we have proved first? We have proved first that angles are equal, and then they are similar. So in the previous case, what we have proved? First we have proved that they are similar, and with this similarity condition I have taken the angles are equal condition. That's it. Now let us see the SAS criterion for similarity of triangles. Theorem number 8.5, page number 210. If one angle of a triangle is equal to one angle of the other triangle, and the including sides of these angles are proportional, then the two triangles are similar. So to understand this, let us have two triangles first. One is triangle ABC, which is smaller in size of the other triangle, that is DEF. So what is given? One angle of a triangle, that is, I am taking this angle A, is equal to one angle of the other, that is angle D. If angle A is equal to angle D, and including sides of these angles, which are AB and AC in this, and DE and EF, which are including these angles, are proportional. Proportional means they are in same ratio. That means AB by DE is equal to AC by EF. This is the given information. Okay. Then what we have to prove? Then the two triangles are similar. We have to prove that triangle ABC is similar to triangle EF. It's very simple. Now for this, let us construct something. So first of all, locate points P and Q on DE and DF respectively such that AB is equal to DP and AC is equal to DQ, and join P comma Q points. So here I am taking a point P such that this DP is equal to AB, so I am writing AB here, and similarly I am taking a point Q on DF such that DQ is equal to AC, so I am writing AC here. And now what I am doing? I am just joining these. Okay. So now already the angle A is given that it is equal to angle D. Okay. And by our construction we have taken that this AB is equal to DP, And by our one more construction that AC is equal to DQ. So if you observe these two triangles from SAS, we can say that these two triangles are congruent. So I am writing the same in triangle ABC and triangle DPQ. Okay, AB is equal to DP by construction, and angle A is equal to angle D, which is given already, and AC is equal to DQ again by construction. So therefore, from side angle side, we can write that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle DPQ from SAS criterion of congruency of triangles. So if these two are congruent, then we can write that the angle A is equal to angle D, angle B is equal to angle P, and angle C is equal to angle Q. Why? They are corresponding parts of congruent triangles, that is CPCT. Okay, let us keep this aside. Now let us take this one. Now consider AB by DE is equal to AC by DF. Okay. Now in the place of AB, what we can write? DP. Why? Because both are equal. So I am writing in the place of AB DP. So DP by DE is equal to, in the place of AC I am writing DQ. Why? Because they are also equal. So DQ by DF. Now I am just reciprocating that. So you will get DE by DP is equal to DF by DQ. Now what I am doing? Subtracting 1 on both sides. So you will get DE by DP minus 1 is equal to DF by DQ minus 1. So if you further simplify, you will get DE minus DP by DP is equal to DF minus DQ by DQ. So if you look at this DE minus DP is what? If you remove this, you will get PE. So I am writing PE here. So PE by DP. Similarly, this is DP, okay? Similarly, DF minus DQ, what will you get? QF. So I am writing QF here. QF by DQ. So again I am reciprocating this, that is TP by PE is equal to DQ by QF. So now this dP by PE is equal to dQ by QF. That means the ratio in which PQ is dividing DE and DF are equal. So if this is dividing these two sides equal ratio, then we say that this is parallel to this by converse theorem of DPT. So we can say that PQ is parallel to AF by converse of BPT. So after once getting PQ is parallel to this, we can say that these two angles are corresponding angles, so they will be equal, and angle Q will be equal to angle F. Similarly, why? Because they are also corresponding angles. And if these two triangles of this triangle are equal to these two angles of this triangle, then obviously third angles will be equal. So we can say that these three angles of this triangle are equal to these three angles of this triangle. So that means these two are equiangular triangles. So from here what we can say? Angle D is equal to angle D, and angle P is equal to angle E, and angle Q is equal to angle F. So therefore triangle DPQ is similar to triangle DEF from angle criterion of similarity. So already we have got that this triangle ABC is congruent to DPQ, and now this DPQ is similar to DEF. So from these two we can write that triangle ABC is similar to triangle DEF. Okay, these two are congruent, and this is similar to this, means obviously this will be also similar to this. So what we can write? Hence proof. Now let us have the quick explanation of this theorem. So it is given that one angle is equal and the two sides including sides are in proportion, and we have to show that these triangles are similar. So for that, what we have to do first, we have to locate P and Q such that this DP is equal to AB and this DQ is equal to AC. So we will get one DPQ triangle, and we have to show that first this ABC triangle is congruent to DPQ by SAS. So after showing that, we have to take this given condition, that is AB by D is equal to AC by DF, to get this, that is dP by P is equal to dQ by QF. So after once getting that, we can prove that this PQ is parallel to EF by using converse theorem of BPT. Once after getting that, we can compare this DPQ triangle with the DEF triangle. We can say that these two angles are equal and these two angles are equal, and this angle is common. So all the angles of DPQ are equal to all the angles of DEF. So we can say that these two triangles are similar. So after getting these two triangles are similar, and by using these two conditions, we can say that this triangle ABC is also similar to triangle DEF. That's it, simple. Now let us see the next theorem. Theorem number 8.6, page number 216. The ratio of the areas of two similar triangles is equal to the ratio of the squares of their corresponding sides. So here what we have to prove? We have to prove that if two triangles are similar, then the ratio of their areas will be equal to the ratio of squares of the corresponding sides. So for that, I am taking two triangles, that is triangle ABC and triangle PQR. So what is given? Triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR is given. And what we have to prove? We have to prove that area of this triangle ABC by area of this triangle PQR will be equal to the ratio of their squares of their corresponding sides, that is AB by PQ whole square, BC by QR whole square, AC by PR whole square. Okay. So to prove this, let us construct something, that is draw AM perpendicular to BC, PN perpendicular to QR. So in the triangle ABC, I am drawing AM perpendicular to BC, and similarly in this triangle I am drawing PN perpendicular to QR. So now from that figure we can write area of triangle ABC is equal to half into base BC into height AM. Similarly, area of triangle PQR is equal to half into base QR into height Pn. Okay, and now if you divide this equation by this equation, you will get area of triangle ABC by area of triangle PQR, which is equal to half into BC into AM by half into QR into Pn. So if you cancel this half and get cancelled, you can write BC by QR into AM by Pn. Let it be equation number 1. So after this, let us compare these two triangles, okay? ABM triangle and PQN triangle. So in triangle ABM and triangle PQN, okay, this angle B is equal to angle Q. Why? Because it is given that triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR, and we know that if two triangles are similar, their corresponding angles will be equal. So angle B will be equal to angle Q from given condition. And this angle M is equal to angle N by our construction. So and angle M is equal to angle N from our construction. So in these two triangles, two of the angles of one triangle is equal to the two of the corresponding angles of this triangle. So we can say that they are similar by AA condition, that is angle criterion for similarity of triangles. So triangle ABM is similar to triangle PQN under which criterion? Angle criterion for similarity of triangles. Okay. If these two are similar, we know that if two triangles are similar, then their corresponding sides will be in the same ratio. So I am taking AB by PQ and AM by PM. Let it be equation number 2. After this, if you observe here, AM by PN is there, here also AM by PN is there. Okay. So actually here what we should get, BC by QR whole square we should get. BC by QR is already there, but we have AM by PN. So if we can convert this in the form of BC by QR, then our proof is completed. So now let us use this condition. Now triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR. Since triangle ABC is similar to triangle PQR, we can say that the corresponding sides will be in the same ratio, that is AB by PQ is equal to BC by QR is equal to AC by PR. So let it be equation number 3, and observe this part of this equation. Okay, AB by PQ is equal to BC by QR is equal to AM by PN. That means from 2 and 3 conditions, can we write AM by PN is equal to BC by QR? Yes, we can write. So that is AM by PN is equal to BC by QR. Okay, let it be equation number 4. What is the reason? From 2 and 3. So now this AM by PN we have got as BC by QR. So you can directly substitute this value in the 1. Substitute 4 in 1. You will get area of triangle ABC by area of triangle PQR is equal to BC by QR into, in the place of this I am writing the same again, BC by QR. So BC by QR whole square you will get. So from this equation number 3, we can say that BC by QR is equal to AB by PQ and also AC by PR. So in the place of BC by QR, we can write any of these. So from 3 again, what we can write? Therefore, area of triangle ABC by area of triangle PQR is equal to, okay, AB by PQ whole square is equal to BC by QR whole square is equal to AC by PR whole square. That is our required thing to prove. So what we can write? Hence it is proved. Now let's see the quick explanation of this theorem. So what is given? Given that the two triangles are similar and we have to prove that the areas of the two triangles are in the same ratio as that of the squares of the corresponding sides. Okay. So for that, first of all, we have to take two triangles and you have to construct two perpendiculars. After constructing two perpendiculars, you have to take the areas of these and you have to divide. You will get it like this: BC by QR is equal to AM by PN. Let it be equation number 1. BC by QR is already there, but here it is square is there, but here we want one more BC by QR. So to get that, we have to compare these two triangles, triangle ABM and triangle PQN. Okay, by AA criterion we can say that these two are similar. After getting the similar, we have to take one more condition, equation number 2, and from by using this given condition we can get the corresponding sides ratio equal, that is equation number 3, and from 3 and 2 we can write this. So after substituting this equation number 4, you will get like this, so we can get the required thing. Okay. Now let us look at the next theorem. And this theorem is very useful in proving the Pythagoras theorem or Baudrillard theorem of right angle triangle. Okay. So theorem number 8.7, page number 218. If a perpendicular drawn from the vertex of the right angle triangle to the hypotenuse, then the triangles on both sides of the perpendicular are similar to the whole triangle and also to each other. So it is given that if a perpendicular drawn to the hypotenuse in a right angle triangle, okay, we get two right angle triangles, and the two right angle triangles which are got by drawing the perpendicular to the hypotenuse are also similar to the big triangle, that is whole triangle, triangle ABC, and also they are also similar to each other. We have to prove this statement. Okay. So what I am taking, given triangle ABC which is right angle at B, and I have drawn BD perpendicular to the hypotenuse AC. So what we have to prove? Triangle ADB, which is formed a right angle triangle on the left side of the perpendicular BD, is similar to the triangle ABC, and also the triangle which is formed on the right side, that is right side of the perpendicular, that is BDC, is also similar to the whole right angle triangle, that is ABC. Okay, we have to prove that this is similar to the big triangle and this is also similar to the big triangle, and also the left side right angle triangle is also similar to the right side right angle triangle. Okay, these three statements we have to prove. Now first of all, before comparing these two triangles ADB and ABC, For that doing, I am drawing separately these two diagrams. So ADB I am drawing separately and CDB I am drawing separately for my convenience. Okay. So now let us compare this. So before comparing, I want to draw this triangle ABC in different variations such that the angle A, which is common, is at similar position and the right angles D and B are at similar positions. Okay. Now this is ABC right angle triangle, that is whole triangle, and this is the ADB, which is the left side of the BD. Okay. Now in these two triangles, let us compare now. In triangle ADB and triangle ABC, angle A is equal to angle A. Why? Because they are common angles. Okay. Next, angle B is equal to angle D. Why? Because they are right angles. So we can say that these two triangles of one triangle are equal to the two angles of another triangle. So we can say that these two are similar by AA condition, that is angle criterion for similarity of triangles. So triangle ADB is similar to triangle ABC from AA condition. Let it be equation number 1. Now we have to show that triangle BDC is similar to triangle ABC. So I have already separately drawn this. So I am drawing once again the triangle ABC in such a way that we can compare these two easily, so that the common angle C is at same position and the right angle D and B is at same position. Now this is the ABC triangle in the different orientation, and this is the CDB triangle. Now let us compare these two triangles. Okay, in triangle BDC and triangle ABC, angle C is equal to angle C. Why? Because this is common angle. And these two are right angle triangles, that is angle B is equal to angle D is equal to angle B, both are 90 degrees. So again similarly we can say that triangle BDC is similar to triangle ABC. Why? Because these two angles of this triangle are equal to these two angles of this triangle. So two angles of one triangle are equal to two angles of another triangle. That means these two are similar by what condition? AA condition or criterion of similarity of triangles. So let it be equation number 2. So now here we have got that ADB triangle is similar to ABC triangle, and here BDC triangle is similar to ABC triangle. So from these two, from 1 and 2, if you observe carefully, this triangle ABC is common. Okay, so we can say that triangle ADB is similar to triangle BDC from transitive property. What is the transitive property? I will explain. Transitive property. Transitive property is nothing but, for example, if A and B are brothers and B and C are brothers, then we can say that A and C are also brothers. So that is called as transitive property. So now here we have got, so we can write hence proved. Now let us see the quick explanation of this theorem. Okay. So what we have to prove? We have to prove that first of all we have to draw a perpendicular to the hypotenuse from the right angle vertex in a right angle triangle. Then you will get the two right angle triangles, and we have to show that the two small right angle triangles are similar to the big right angle triangle, and also they are similar to each other. So further we have to separate the diagrams like this. First of all we have to compare this small triangle, left side right angle triangle with the whole triangle. So you will get one angle common and one angle right angle you will get common. So according to AA you can show that these two are similar. Now let it be equation number 1. And similarly you can compare these two and you will get by same condition AA, those are similar. Let it be equation number 2. And then from 1 and 2 we can say that these two small triangles are similar to the big right angle triangle, that is ABC, and also they can be said that they are also similar. That's it. Now let us look at the next theorem, that is Pythagoras theorem or Baudhayana theorem of right angle triangles. Okay. So you may have wondered out that, sir, this is related to right angle triangle, so why we are learning in this similar triangles concept. Okay. So we are proving this theorem of right angle triangle with the help of similarity or similar triangles concept. Okay. So as we have seen in the previous theorem, A perpendicular drawn to the hypotenuse in a right angle triangle divides the right angle triangle in two right angle triangles, and the two right angle triangles are similar to each other, and also they both are similar to the whole right angle triangle. Okay, so we are going to use the same concept here to prove that this theorem. So now let us look at the theorem number 8.8, Pythagoras theorem or Baudhayana theorem of right angle triangle. The statement is, in a right triangle, that means right angle triangle, the square of the length of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of the lengths of the other two sides. Okay, so understand this. I have taken IBC right angle triangle, which is at right angle B, and required to prove that hypotenuse is what? The opposite side of the right angle, that is AC. AC square is sum of the remaining two side squares. Okay, AB square plus BC square. We have to prove. So further, let us construct one thing, that is draw BD perpendicular to AC. Let us draw one perpendicular from B to AC, that is hypotenuse. Okay. And now this perpendicular dividing this total right angle triangle into two right angle triangles. So we are going to apply the same concept, that we know that from the previous theorem, that is triangle ADB is similar to triangle ABC, and triangle BDC is similar to triangle ABC. Okay. Now these two triangles are similar and these two triangles are similar. So we can apply the corresponding sides ratio equal concept here. So I am applying the same here. So in these two triangles, first of all I am taking AD. Okay. So if you take AD, then its corresponding side will be AB. AD by AB is equal to, now I am taking this AB from this triangle, that means this and this, first and last letter. So here also you should take first and last, so that is divided by AC. And here I am taking this and this. Okay, CD I am taking first, CD or DC, both are same, DC, and here you will get BC. And next what I am writing, BC here. So if you are writing BC, then here also you should write the same letters, that is A and C. Okay. So now from this what we can write, AC into AD, and this AB and AB into AB will become AB square. Let it be equation number 1. And here also AC into DC is equal to BC into BC, you will get BC square. Let it be equation number 2. And if you add 1 and 2, you will get AC into AD plus LHS plus and this LHS, that is AC into DC is equal to AB square plus BC square. Okay. And if you see, AC is common in both, so I am taking AC common, so you will get AD plus DC is equal to AB square plus BC square. And here if you see AD plus DC you are getting AC, so I am writing AC into AC is equal to AB square plus BC square. And we know that AC into AC is what? AC square, which is equal to AB square plus BC square, which is our required thing to prove, that is AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. Hence it is proved. Now let us see the quick explanation of this theorem, that is Pythagoras theorem or Baudhayana theorem of right angle triangles. Okay, with the help of similarity of triangles we are going to prove this theorem. That is, first of all you have to take a right angle triangle ABC, then you have to draw a perpendicular BD to the hypotenuse AC, then you will get two triangles, and we know that ADB triangle is similar to ABC triangle and BDC triangle is similar to this. From this, in both the cases we have to apply the corresponding sides ratio equal concept. So you will get equation number 1 and equation number 2. If you add, you will get AC square is equal to AB square plus BC square. But remember one thing here, which side you have to take to show that the corresponding sides are same to get this. It's very simple. In the left side case, you will have to take AD and AB. So here AD and AB. Okay, this I am giving hint. You can easily remember that. AD and AB. Here I am taking AD and here I am taking AB. And this side DC and here I am taking BC. And you can easily write the corresponding side of AD from this, and you can easily write the corresponding side of AB from this. Okay, similarly here also you can write. This is the easy way to remember the theorem, how to prove step by step. Now let's see why this is also called as Bodhayan theorem of right angle triangles. One Indian mathematician called Bodhayan about 800 BC only stated the same theorem statement, in other words that the diagonal of a rectangle produces by itself the same area as produced by its both sides. That means here I have taken ABCD rectangle and the AC is the diagonal. You can see ABC is the right angle triangle that is formed in the rectangle ABCD, and this is the length and this is the breadth. He stated that the diagonal, that AC is producing the same area by itself. That means AC into AC, which is AC square. Okay, same area as produced by its both sides. That means breadth into breadth B square and L into L square. So we can say that AC square is equal to BC square plus AB square. The same thing in other words. Now let us look at the next theorem. Theorem number 8.9, page number 220. In a triangle, if the square of length of one side is equal to the sum of squares of lengths of other two sides, then the angle opposite to the first side is the right angle and the triangle is a right angle triangle. Okay, let us understand this statement by using a triangle. So I have taken ABC triangle. In this, if a square of one side is equal to sum of the squares of other two sides, that is AB square plus BC square, then we have to prove that this ABC triangle is a right angle triangle. So it is enough to prove that angle B is equal to 90. If we once get that angle B is equal to 90 degrees, then we can say that this triangle ABC is a right angle triangle. Okay, to prove this I am taking the help of another triangle. So let us construct a right angle triangle PQR with a right angle at Q, that is Q is equal to 90 degrees. So I am taking triangle PQR, right angle at Q, such that PQ is equal to AB. This length should be equal to this length. Okay, PQ is equal to AB and QR is equal to BC. Okay. So now as this is a right angle triangle, we can apply the Pythagoras theorem or Bodhayan theorem. Okay. So in triangle PQR, what we can write? PR square, that is hypotenuse square, is equal to sum of the remaining two sides squares, that is PQ square plus QR square. Okay, and we can write that PQ we can write that AB. So why? Because we have taken as AB. QR we can write that as BC. Why? Because we have taken QR is equal to BC. Okay. Let it be equation, first of all let it be equation 1 and now let it be equation 2. From equation 1 and 2, the RHSs are same, so we can equate the LHS. So from 1 and 2, we can write that AC square is equal to PR square, that implies AC is equal to PR. Let it be equation number 3. So what we have got? AC is equal to PR, we have got AC is equal to PR. Okay. So now already we have got these two are equal to these two sides by construction. Now we have got the third side is also equal. So what we can write? Triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR by yes criterion. Why? Because all the three sides of this triangle are equal to all the three sides of this triangle. So if these two are congruent triangle, then we can say that angle B is equal to angle Q is equal to 90 degrees by CPCT. Congruent part, corresponding parts of congruent triangles are equal. So that is, therefore triangle ABC is a right angle triangle. Now let us have the quick explanation of this theorem. First of all, we have to take an ABC triangle. Then we have to construct a triangle PQR, right angle triangle, which is right angle at Q, such that this AB is equal to PQ and BC is equal to QR. Now in that second right angle triangle, we have to apply the Pythagoras theorem concept, that is hypotenuse square is equal to sum of the remaining two squares of sides. Next, you will get equation 1 and 2.
from 1 and 2 you can get that AC is equal to PQR, that is this side is equal to this side. So after getting three sides equal to three sides, we can apply the SSS criterion of congruency of triangles and we can say that these two are congruent. After once getting the congruent condition, we can say that the angle B is congruent to angle Q, so that is angle B is equal to 90 degrees, so that is triangle ABC is a right angle triangle, simple.